Rodniks are humming in the dead of the night. Electric bills climbing, ain't feeling right. Hash rates dropping, profits thin as air. I'm digging for gold, but there's none down there. I got the crypto mining blues, feeling like I just can't choose. But there's a spark in the AI glow. Rent my computer, let the profits grow. Once I was king with my GPUs. Now I'm stuck paying the power dues. Every coin I mine feels heavier than lead, but I hear whispers of a future ahead. I got the crypto mining blues, feeling like I just can't lose. Switch my power to the AI flow, turn this burden into a glow. I see the light, it's flickering on. AI's calling my machines to respond. No more digging in the blockchain dirt. This pivot might just heal the hurt. I got the crypto mining blues, but I'm stepping in brand new shoes. The AI train's on a steady roll, gonna recompute and regain control.
I was digging deep in the digital ground, hoping for treasure, but nothing was found. The rigs were buzzing, the heat was real, electric bills biting like a thief who steals. The crypto mining blues got me feeling low. The profits are gone, where did they go? But there's a light shining through the haze. Renting compute might just save my day. I stacked up GPUs, thought I'd strike it rich, but the market's a beast with a wicked glitch. Hash rates climbing, rewards falling flat. Chasing that coin, I'm chasing a cat. Crypto mining blues got me feeling low. The profits are gone, where did they go? But there's a light shining through the haze. Renting compute might just save my day. AI knocking, it's a brand new game, whispering sweet that it knows my name. Ran out the power, let it learn and dream. A smarter hustle, a brand new scheme. Now my GPUs hum a different tune, training models under the cyber moon. No more digging, no more feudal race, just AI visions lighting up the space. The crypto mining blues got me feeling low. The profits are gone, where did they go? But there's a light shining through the haze. Renting compute might just save my days. Now my GPUs hum a different tune.
Training
models under the cyber moon.
No more digging,
No more digging, lighten up the space.
Happy Saturday, everybody. Happy voltage drop. Hope you guys are having a good day and a good week. Mine has definitely been eventful. We'll get into that in a little while. But yeah, hope you guys are all doing well. Let me see who is here so far. We got Beak Peak is here. Good to see you, sir. And we got Jay Styles. Well, those are the only two people that have chimed in. It does say that there are at least 11 or 12 other viewers, depending on which screen I look at. Hyper Threaders is here. Good to see you. Alrighty, well, I guess I will just hop into it. Crude may or may not be joining me. I think he's going to join me a little bit later. He is actually streaming tonight after I finish streaming. First things first, yes, I know I'm not muted, so I got that much going for me. How does the mic sound? It's probably a little bit hotter. I could probably turn it down just a bit. But how does it sound? Are your 5060 Ti's rented? More are rented than they have been. They're about half rented. Half of my verified ones are rented. All right, cool. Good deal. I was talking to somebody else just on a Discord call, and person said this mic sounded better. I actually this Maono reached out and said, hey, would you like to review this mic? I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. So I'm trying it out. Eventually I'll do a review video on it. But yeah, it's a super cheap mic. It's like $55 or something. It's like really inexpensive, but I had seen a couple of videos on this mic, so I was definitely intrigued by it. And yeah, it's smaller. I like the fact that it's a smaller mic, as opposed to that big. It's a lot bigger mic. I like the fact that it's a smaller mic. This one's square. It's okay the way it looks, but I like rounder mics better. But whatever. As long as it sounds good. Automatic Beats is here, and Integra Guy is here. Thank you for continuing to be a member. Appreciate it. And first time 1392. Hello to you as well. So yeah, so this week has been a very, very good week for VAST. It was a record week. Didn't quite hit the threshold I thought I was going to hit. Thought I'd finally hit $900 in a week. Didn't hit that. But I did hit $890 in the week. So that was my record. My previous record was somewhere between 850 and that 890. I don't remember exactly where it was. I thought it was like 880 something, but that was quite a while ago. So it was nice to actually hit that number. And today, well, from 6 o'clock yesterday to 6 o'clock today was a record day. It was over $147 for the day. I have never been over $140 for the day. So that was pretty amazing, actually. So yeah, for those people that think this is dying, I would beg to differ. Definitely beg to differ. At least not yet. And some of the things that we'll talk about tonight, I kind of think that home data centers can help fill the gap for the demand that's out there. Because, I mean, honestly, I have no idea who is renting my GPUs other than I know they're renting it for a long time. That one behind me, I'm hoping that renter falls off. It has it until July. I normally had it like basically just keep going out. But that's the one I want to put that 5090 in that I've got. I want to put it in there. Integra Guy. I hope my Valentine's Day card is in the mail. Well, if you put it in the mail, it probably is. And I didn't go out to check the mail today. So if you did, it might be in the mail. I don't know. Should I go check the mail? Is that what you're telling me? I should go check the mailbox? Would it have come today? Actually, you know what? I can actually check to see because I've got like, I forget what it's called. The post office has this thing where, you know what, I'll just do it on my phone. Where it'll show you what your mail is, so you actually can know whether or not you need to go get it. One moment, please. Informed delivery is what it's called. I don't need to sign up for free. I'm already signed up. Come on. We'll go with this one. I have 2 sign-ins for some reason, and I don't. Not now. It's just mail. All right, let's see here. All right, now I'm looking at junk, 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 and more junk. Don't you love like primary season where all you get is like just mail for political candidates? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, what is this? That would not be from you, but that looks like junk mail too. So no, if you did send me a Valentine's Day card, I think you're joking anyway. So yeah, I'm on the hook. Oh, you sending me one? Oh, I got it. No, I totally forgot to send out Valentine's Day cards this year. Okay. That just comes out wrong when you actually type it out. Guys, I'm not reading that. Am I ready to get out of Illinois yet? No, because my daughter still lives here and my father-in-law still lives here. But yeah, not yet. Not yet. Plus, it certainly isn't going to happen this year. I got too much stuff happening here. So I'll get into, obviously, I've talked to you guys about the fact that I'm getting a hip replacement. Had some things that kind of threw it in question this week. So had my pre-op doctor's appointment.
Nicks are humming in the dead of the night. Electric bills climbing, ain't feeling right. Hash rates dropping, profits thin as air. I'm digging for gold, but there's none down there. I got the crypto mining blues, feeling like I just can't choose. But there's a spark in the AI glow. Rent my computer, let the profits grow. king with my GPUs. Now I'm stuck paying the power dues. Every coin I mine feels heavier than lead, but I hear whispers of a future ahead. I got the crypto mining blues, feeling like I just can't lose. Switch my power to the AI flow, turn this burden into a glow. I see the light, it's flickering on. AI's calling my machines to respond. No more digging in the
What is going? Okay, now it's back. The mic shut off.
might just heal the hurt.
How long have I been muted for? How long have I been muted for? Jeez. Yeah, how long am I going without sound? I don't know, because maybe I touched the mic, but no, it was off. All right, I'm going to have to watch this thing really carefully, because that's annoying. And if it does it again, I'm just going to switch out the mics. I got the other mic right here. That's annoying. That's really annoying. All right. Well, where did I get cut off? What was I saying when I got cut off? I just heard a ding, but I have no idea where that ding came from or what app that would be. I don't think that is Discord, but I'll look. Oh, wait a minute. Quick hash. Oh, no, that was from earlier. Yeah. All right. Well, it's still on, which is good so far. I'll just have to really keep an eye on this instead of kind of talking over this way. Max versus Mike. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Since you said I had hiccups about the hip surgery, I didn't say anything about hiccups. Shortly after Entire Guy and you talked about Valentine's Day card. Okay, so basically, wow, that was a long time. Getting my age verification? Maybe. Doesn't appear so. Like I said, it didn't sound like a Discord sound. So anyway, so all right. So basically, yes, I'm going to next week is like super busy. But this past week I went to the doctor. And had all my pre-op tests. Everything came out fine, except I had a high PSA. So over 12. So long story short, since I was muted for so long, I'm going to continue looking to make sure that thing still keeps active. I have a appointment with a urologist at the University of Chicago. He's actually the director there. So that is like the place to go if you have suspected prostate cancer, a high PSA test. So that is where I'm going on Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I got Prehab. And Friday, I have my pre-appointment for the surgery, basically. My orthopedic doctor's appointment on Friday. So it is going to be a busy week. University of Chicago is like an hour and a half drive for me. So it is not close at all to get there. But I wanted all my options as far as treatment. And that's like for this Tulsa, if you really want to look at these procedures, the Tulsa procedure for prostate cancer, basically it heats it from the inside out. And by heating it from the inside out, it spares nerves, it spares blood vessels, all those things that you worry about with removing a prostate. So yeah. So anyway, we'll see what comes of that. I'll probably need an MRI. Eventually probably need a biopsy if they see a tumor within the prostate. Hey, if I'm lucky, it'll just be an enlarged prostate, and they will and they won't see any tumor, and then it'll just be watchful waiting, basically, which is common with prostate cancer, that once you have a higher probability of having it at some point, You just kind of monitor it every year. It's a slow growing cancer. So, but earlier this week when I found this out, I was thinking that I was going to have to delay my operation for the hip. But at this point, I'm pretty sure I will not. Now the question is will I have to go out on 2 leaves for work if I have to have my prostate removed? So that would kind of suck. But anyway, hey, it's life. It isn't life-threatening. It's still early detection. So I'm not overly, I was earlier worried about it, but now after doing some reading, I'm not worried about it. It is a cancer that you can actually just live with because it doesn't grow. So you can wait and make sure that it isn't growing and such. So yeah. So anyway, Max, have you looked into the Wolverine stack to help you out for now at least? Also speeds up surgery recovery. Look up BP 157 TB 500. Yeah, I am not familiar with that at all. Thank you, Automatic Beats. Again, I'm not 2 days ago, kind of like the day after I was at the orthopedic for the first day. Yeah, I was a little freaked out. Yeah, the day I saw the reading, yeah, I was pretty freaked out. I was like, now what? Do I have to have prostate surgery first, and then it's going to delay the hip surgery? And I was just really frustrated because this was throwing things for a loop. So it's still a little frustrating because if I still have to have prostate surgery, that means 2 leaves instead of 1, or 1 elongated leave, but I don't see that being a possibility because they don't want to do surgery within like 90 days of having your hip replaced, and I'll be able to go back to work before then. So I don't know. One step at a time. Let the doctors figure that out. I'm going to be actively involved in decisions to be made, but at the same time, I've picked the doctors that I have because I do trust their decisions, and I educate myself, and when they basically tell me kind of all the facts and then the opinions that they have and why, yeah, I'm a lot of times going to take their word and then research what they said and make sure it makes sense. But yeah, anyway, let me I missed Doombots. You getting your age verification? I already said that. Getting your age verification. No, it was not. Okay, what did I miss with Retro Mike? Let's see. Mike be a real bro. Looking to see where that even came from. All right, I have no idea. We'll see it in 20 minutes. Yeah, pretty much. But Hyperthreaders, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate it. And Joe, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Appreciate it. All right. You may want to double check your YouTube live chat filter settings. A lot of messages are getting held and I'm having to show them. Might be set a little too strict for this crowd. I have no idea why they would be getting filtered. Oh, go to the doc, get testosterone replacement therapy, hit the gym, and blast roids will solve all your issues. Yeah, I don't know. I know what my filters are, but I don't see. Yeah, I don't know. Sure why. I'll have to look at it. Alrighty, well, that's enough of that. But anyway, that's kind of my life right now. So yeah. It's what happens, I guess, when you get to be this age. I don't feel that old, but obviously I am. Like I said, I did the math today. Or not today. When this first happened, I was like, when was my dad? How old was my dad when he had this? And then I was like, oh yeah, born in 35. had it done in 93. He was born in October, and he had it done in early 93. I'm like, yeah, he was 57. And I'm about to turn 58. So, yeah. Alrighty. Well, let's get into some more other topics. So one of the things as far as VAST goes, I was trying to get VM active, the VM feature active on a few of my unverified rigs. And what was very interesting is one of the rigs was already active. I had no idea. I had tried to activate it before, but it wasn't working. And now when I went back to it, it says, oh yeah, it's on. So I then went back into the VAST Discord and found out that, yeah, they fixed something. So yeah, there was something going on and they did something. I don't know what, but they fixed it. And a lot of people were finding now that they were able to have VM turned on. Now, unfortunately, my reliability isn't really going anywhere on that rig. It's still saying at 97.1. And it's not verified, and nobody's renting it. So that's a dual 5060 Ti rig. But we'll see where it goes from there. Been kind of debating on whether or not I would just take down my my 5060 Ti rigs. Not really sure. They just aren't getting rented all that much. But yeah, right now, as far as rentals go, let's see. So I have 13 out of 14 4090s rented. And out of my 5090s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's interesting. So I have 5 out of 7 of my verified ones are rented. And that other one was recently at all 7 rented. So that's interesting. The Threadripper one only has 1 out of the 3 rented. So that's a recent change. I can tell because it's still showing like more than 2 are rented type of thing, with how much it's saying it makes per hour. So hopefully that'll get re-rented. But I've got 2 5090s right now that are unverified, and I've got 1 still sitting in a box that I really want to get on one of these rigs. Either that or I'm gonna have to build a new one, which obviously is gonna be a little pricey. And I'll have to decide what I'm gonna do. If I'm kind of thinking about doing the similar thing with the Threadripper rig, in doing either a dual or another triple Threadripper rig. Might just do 2 this time and then leave one of them just in one of the other rigs. But I don't know. I'm still debating on that. But obviously, yeah, memory is expensive. And then, like I said, the 5060 Ti rigs are all in PCIe 3.0 rigs, and they're really old processors. I mean, the 7810s, those are like 14-year-old processors. I mean, not necessarily the age of the actual processor, but the age of that technology is 14 years old. So yeah, they might be 10-core processors, but they're much, much slower than current day processors, even though they are Xeons. All right, let me check the chat. My 59s got verified and have VMs disabled. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I've got one that is at 99.86. 99.86% reliability, and it's still not verified. So RC4, are these multi GPU rigs or just single GPU rigs? And then also, what's your bandwidth? Like, what's your internet speed? How much are my 4090s and 5090s currently set for? That's kind of personal, because everybody's going to criticize me for having them set too low. They always do. So the 4090s I have set around 24 cents, but they make more than that because I have my bandwidth set higher than the standard rate. So I make it up on that. And then the 5090s I have set at 29 cents, but they usually make about 32. So that's what I have it set at. Come at me, bro. Doombots got two 5090s NIP, thinking about dual 5090 rig for Vest, or should I do two single 5090 rigs? If you can do a dual, I think dual works out a little bit better. But honestly, I've only rented on the 5090s, I've only rented out a dual or a triple instance like once. Otherwise, it's singles. It's a different instance on each one. So I don't know. I think kind of the sweet spot is if you're gonna do multiples, for the sake of having multiples to rent out, and for the benefit of being able to set a slightly higher price, is 4 units. Like right now, my Octo server, I have one instance of 4 on it, and then 2 instances of 1. And actually, interestingly enough, same thing on the 8x4090 rig as well. I've got 1 instance of 4 and then 3 instances that are singles on there. So yeah, so I think 4 is really the sweet spot. Well, 8 is really the sweet spot, but if you can do 4, that works best. But 4 can be quite pricey. I know that I don't think he's here. But there is a person in our community who did an H12 SSL-D or something like that. It's not made by Supermicro, but it's that type of board, but it has 4 PCIe slots, full slots, and that would be perfect for if you had 4 dual slot GPUs. But yeah, trying to come up with 4 dual slot GPUs. Suppose it probably, if you could find, 4 RTX Pro 6000s or 4 Pro 5000s or 4500s. Okay then. Well, I can hear him in the background. Because I hear the echo. So I have to switch over.
I can't hear you.
No, you can't. No, it isn't. No, it's not. He's like, knock, knock. All right, hang on. Let me get him in here, and then we can start having the AI discussion. Hold on.
I can't hear you, Max.
Oh, hold on. They can hear me.
Max, why can't I hear you? Let me try something. Max, talk.
Can you hear me now?
No, I can't hear you.
No, I don't think you can.
Let's try it.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What was that?
Yeah. Because it had two audio sources selected for some reason. Within Video Ninja.
You got me for 30 minutes before I prep for my inaugural live stream.
Yes, I hear that. Did you get all your streaming stuff figured out?
Yeah, everything's good to go. I'm ready to go. They're saying double audio again. Is that good?
Hold on. No, double audio is bad. It's because I think now you guys can still hear me, right? I know you can still hear me. I know you can. I want to make sure they can. They should be able to.
Good now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's what I thought. So basically, I just have to mute my mic over here. I have it reset up the way I originally had it set up, and it works now. And I don't know why it stopped working originally. But anyway, just let me know if you stop hearing me, because my mic went off on me once while I was talking. I don't know if I touched the mic or something, and that's why it did it, because of static and such. But I don't know.
But yeah, everything's good for the stream. I'm gonna start at 10:30. It's gonna be like it's gonna try to be a positive stream. There's some negative topics people are gonna not like, but mostly positive. Trying to be positive, but it'll be a fun stream. I'm really excited for it. But I wanted to hang out with you for a little bit. So what are we talking about today?
Well, we're going to be talking about what we talked about last week. As far as I said, I did a little bit of research, did some AI research, which I know some of you just absolutely love. But hey, this is about why AI is going to shit the bed, and why they're going to stop purchasing. So anyway, let's get into that. Let me share my screen real quick.
Hey, on a positive note for AI, my 2 gig service is in.
Nice. I know
Yeah.
you're having some problems with it.
Well, it was FiOS. It was all FiOS problems. But on the positive note, it's all in. And it's ready to go for me to set up my TP-Link stuff tomorrow. So be by your computer.
All righty. Let me.
You used AI to ask about the demise of AI.
I did.
That's
I did.
wonderful. You should make this a short. You know they're lying to you, right?
No, if you read it, it's okay.
Why would
AI
Skynet tell you that they're gonna go down? They're just lying to you so that you
You have
lull
to
yourself
ask
to
things
sleep,
the right way, man. So let's
and then they
go
hit the
through-
nuke.
Okay, don't dunk on it until we go through it. So I asked the question, how much overcapacity is there in data centers? What I mean is how many data centers in the US are sitting built without power? And it came back and said, based on my search, here's what I found about data center overcapacity in the US. The problem, built but not powered. There are indeed data centers sitting built without power, though the exact scale is hard to quantify. The most concrete example I found was Santa Clara, where Digital Realty has a 430,000 square foot 4-floor building that applied for power in 2019 and remains an empty shell awaiting full energization. Stack Infrastructure has nearby 48 megawatt project, but that's also vacant while the city-owned utility struggles to upgrade capacity. So this is kind of regional based, but the bottom line is the scale of the queue problem. Rather than completed buildings sitting empty, the bigger issue is the massive pipeline waiting to connect. So interconnection queues now contain what is that? That's picowatts, 1.5 picowatts, 1,570 gigawatts of generation projects waiting to connect, more than the total installed capacity of the US. The pipeline of new data centers under construction will, if all planned facilities are completed, add 140 gigawatts of new load to the current total US. 7.8 gigawatts is currently under construction, but grid connection delays stretch up to 4 years in many regions.
So I really wish. So all right, I will say this, right? I'm not disagreeing with you, and frankly, if I didn't have my day job, I wouldn't even be able to comment on this. And I can't really say too much, right? But we ship UPSs for data centers. Like I can say that we ship data center level UPSs, right? We have these facilities, like we have stuff prepaid for the next year being built and shipping.
No,
Like,
I don't.
prepaid, ready to go. I'm like
I
the
know.
only I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm only telling you from my literal day job.
I know it
How-
hasn't. The truck hasn't stopped yet. So there is this backlog, and the backlog continues to grow. But at some point, people are going to say, "Enough's enough." So let me continue. So again, wait times in hotspots like Virginia, timelines have stretched from a few years to as long as 7 years. Interconnection delays now stretch to 5+ years. Developer strategy. Interestingly, 74.3% of the current U.S. construction pipeline is already committed to tenants, meaning developers are often able to lease projects years before they can actually power them on. Some developers are building the shells early, knowing power will come eventually. They'd rather be early than late. The situation is creating a shift where power was no longer an input but became the constraint that reordered every other decision. So the thing I wanted to focus on here is the .com boom. That's exactly what everybody said. Well, I'd rather be early than late. And yet, when it came time for revenue, when it came time to actually pay their bills, and they couldn't because they didn't have revenue to pay their bondholders or to pay off their investors, the money dried up. And then they had no more money, and there were a mass amount of bankruptcies.
Can I play devil's advocate real quick for the sake of the stream?
That's
Remember the housing bubble when they said the housing market would get destroyed, and it didn't get destroyed?
The housing market's a bit different.
How is
Not
it
even a
different?
bit. It's very different because we're talking about consumers' homes.
Yeah,
Talking
so that's even so if consumers' homes got bailed out, right? And again, I don't know if I believe this. I'm just playing devil's advocate for the sake of this conversation. Big business, all of these guys in this AI, you don't think that they're going to figure out a way to not make it crash?
No, I don't. And
With
again,
everything-
define crash. I'm not
Well,
talking.
okay.
I'm not. Hang on. I'm not talking about the fact that the business is going away. What I'm saying is that they're going to run out of available money to continue to buy new hardware until the existing hardware can A, go into service, and B, start making some money.
Or what about C? What if they sell the existing hardware to data centers that are already operational and then roll that right back in to new money?
Data centers are full. You're making it sound like there's available space, like lots of available space in current data centers.
Like, you know, data, like it's just like crypto miners, right? When people get out, there are other people who buy that stuff and then they upgrade their stuff and they dump other stuff. It's just like dumping down the line, right?
Not exactly.
Like,
Not exactly.
say data centers.
So hang on a second. So let's take, for example, you got to remember that there's HPC, which is what we're talking about here, and standard data centers, which don't require as much power. Like for instance, if you go out and because I've done this, I've shopped for
Wait, time out. So I understand. HPC, is that the water cooled stuff that we were talking about when we were at CES, me, you, and Go?
Yes, it stands for high performance compute.
And that's where they
you
have to water
GPUs.
cool.
Well,
And
not
that's where they have,
necessarily, but yes, in general, yes. But yeah, it's GPUs.
and it's a different. I'm asking just so I understand. It's like a different cool. Like the whole data center has to be reworked for it, basically.
No, I mean there are regular data centers that are also water cooled. The problem is that regular data centers don't have the amount of power available, even in per rack. Like if I went into, like if I decided I wanted to co-locate and say, hey, I want one rack space, and I've looked in the Chicago area, there are spaces available, but it's not high performance compute. I could put one, maybe two, not even two, octo servers with 5090s in them. So if you're talking about putting stuff in a data center, you're really talking about even higher performance and more power hungry stuff than that. So you're talking about taking up a whole rack and maybe only being able to fill it a quarter of the way because they can't handle that much power per rack. So they have to completely redesign, and they have to also have the energy infrastructure. So existing data centers that are out there are not designed for high performance compute. They're not.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying is you're thinking, oh, well, we can just take this existing equipment and put it in a data center. No, you can't, because most data centers are for just basic compute for corporations. That's what they were built for.
Okay.
So
Okay. No, I mean that's good to understand. Like I said, I just feel like, and I don't disagree with you, and I certainly don't think you're wrong. But what I'm trying to say is, I feel like it's almost like, you know how they say life will find a way. Rich billionaires will find a way to not let this shit go under.
Again, why did they not? Again, going back to the telecom bust.
Yeah, but you're talking 30 years ago, and you're
Do you
expecting
not
the
think
market.
there were billionaires back then? We were talking major corporations that went on, that didn't go under, but they lost lots of value.
Yeah,
And it's not, again, what we're talking about here is we're not talking about businesses necessarily going out of business. What we're talking about is businesses stopping purchasing. That's what we're talking about here. The industry is not going to go away. I'm not saying that it's going away. I'm simply saying that there's going to be a time where money dries up. It's already happening, which I'll get into in a little bit. So I then asked about, hey, given this backlog, how are these AI companies able to continue to finance more expansion? Why would anyone want to invest with so much unused capacity? It sounds similar to the telecom bust of the early 2000s. Actually, it was the late 1990s they corrected me, where there was too much supply. And they're like, great question. You're right to see the parallels to the telecom bust. Let me search for more specific information about how this financing is working and whether investors are concerned about overbuilding. Excellent instinct. By the way, it loves to tell whoever is asking the question and make them feel smart. So it just flatters you because that's what AIs do.
I want them to tell me, no, you're stupid. Like, ask this question. No, I'm serious.
Hang on a second. There's a way. If you use Claude Code, you can actually instruct, like, have an agent review what you're doing, and you can actually tell the agent to be an asshole. And it is hilarious. Well, Network Chuck actually has a video on this where he has things that he's like, be highly critical and mean about your review of whatever it is, whether it's a script or whatever. And it's pretty funny.
Yeah, like, I don't want it to be like I don't want it to like insult me, but at the same point, I'm like, dude, that's like not the wrong way to look at it. You're like, you think you're being intelligent and you're really not. Like, I don't want it to flatter me.
I'm still being intelligent. I know that, but it's just flattering me whether I am or not.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't like that.
Anyway, so how they're financing this massive debt issuance nearly doubled to 182 billion in 2025, up from 92 billion in 2024, with Meta raising 62 billion in debt since 2022, nearly half issued in 2025 alone. Anyway, bottom line is there's a ton of financing going on. Off balance sheet financial engineering, special purpose vehicles used to keep the appearance of debt off balance sheets. For example, Blue Owl took a $27 billion loan for a Meta data center in Louisiana, but because of the financial structure, the $27 billion loan never shows up on Meta's balance sheet. So basically, creative financing to keep things off the balancing. And then we've talked about the circular financing, where they buy something, but that company then invests in the other company, that kind of thing.
So bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's all so bad.
I know. So then why investors are still pouring money in? There's the blue chip defense. And again, this happened in the telecom bust as well, because these were large companies that were investing in all of this infrastructure. And the same thing that's happening here. And again, you have the scarcity value. The build out of new data centers can be temporarily tempered by a lack of energy supply, making already built data centers more valuable. So making sure you have one sitting there waiting to be powered up, you'll be more likely to get one powered up than if you wait to build it when the energy is available. And then belief in long-term AI dominance. And I do believe in long-term AI dominance. That part I do believe in. My problem is that they just will not be able to power these things up in the time frame. And they're going to be like, why am I building this if I'm going to build it and then I can't power it up for 4 to 7 years? That's crazy. Why wouldn't I time my build to be maybe only 1 year early instead of 7 years early? I mean, that's just basic finance. So anyway, so now we get to the bubble concerns, which I hate that word because this isn't really, they're calling it a bubble because they expect the stock market value to collapse to a certain extent. And that's what they're calling the bubble. But I don't really think of this as a bubble. Like, it's not like the .com bubble. Because the .com, well, there was a bunch of just crap that was invested in with the .com bubble. I don't believe any of this is crap.
Yeah, but wasn't it a different? So I want to say that it was a different time where people didn't really know what they were doing. But yes, in the same way, it's kind of similar in that regard. Exactly. I don't really think I mean, people are obviously way more technologically smarter than they were back then, but I don't really think 99.9% of people know what the hell AI can actually do.
Exactly. It has an exact parallel to the dot-com bust in that way. What's interesting is that when it came to the telecom bust, it had nothing to do with technology. Well, it had a little bit to do with technology because there was a growth in dense wave division multiplexing. So you have a fiber, and with the way they originally were designed was you had one single color of light, white. Well, then they made every fiber that was already laid be able to have 8, then 16, then 32, then 64 different colors that could all carry the same amount of traffic. So as dense wave division multiplexing became a thing, that's also what also led a little bit to the telecom bust. So technology will actually kill it as well, which there could be some relevance to that here as well, because if they are able to create models that don't require as much compute or as much memory, I don't see how they do that, but if they were able to, that could be relevant here as well. They wouldn't have to build out as much infrastructure.
So
anyway.
if you're worried about it. So if you're legitimately worried about it collapsing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're talking about this, and it's all really interesting stuff. What are you like? Is it going to change the way you do things? In all honesty,
well, I've mentioned it before that my dad left me a little bit, and he was very, very conservative in what he has invested in it, and I have not changed that. I'm waiting for this collapse, and then I'm going to put money in the market, gradually put money into the market.
So, because the market. So I got to talk to you. Like, the market is great. Like, if you look at the market performance for the last 3 years, it is literally generationally amazing. Like, we're talking the average market performance for index funds and all that is about 20% right now, year over year, and that's absurd, right?
Yeah, it's not. You can't keep going. There has to be.
So they say that. You say that, right? But I was doing research on I've been in the market for 15 years, right? And 15 years is not a blip, right? It's not short term. You agree with that? And I was kind of flabbergasted by this too. The average for the last 15 years, including when COVID, when everything went to shit, is literally 13%. And that's almost double what you would expect.
I mean, what you'd expect is about an average of about 10%, 10 to 12% a year.
Well, so the way the funds I do, they go off about 6. You can expect about 6. They're real conservative.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm just saying, I know I'm not disagreeing with anything of what you're saying, but look at the stock market in the last X amount of years. Everybody said it wasn't sustainable, and it's still going.
I know, but that's what they said in the late 2000s before the housing market crashed. So it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable.
Yeah, but if you
hang on. What ends up happening is that the longer a market keeps going and sustains its bull run, so the higher the bull run, the harder the crash.
So all right. So let me ask you this then, right? And again, I'm just going off of data. I'm not I'm just talking market data at this point, right? Mm-hmm. So we had a pretty bad crash in 2020. We had one in 08, and we had one. Didn't we have another one between 08 and 2020?
There was I believe so. There was something.
Okay. Anyway, if you look at the market, right, it's boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
It just keeps if you look at the last, I don't know, say last 40 years, it's just straight up. Overall,
straight up. It has crashes, and then it continues. Once you're done with that bear market, it continues up. Yeah. Overall, it goes up. Yes, of course.
Overall, if you zoom out, right, it's basically just like this.
Yes, if you zoom out. But the point is that do you want to take a 35 to 40% hit to your portfolio?
Yeah, I did it. I lost 75% of my portfolio. Didn't touch it, and it went right back up.
And you enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
No, it was the scary. So I was terrified. No, I'm dead serious, dude.
No, I know.
But hold on. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. I was terrified, and I talk to everybody who are like my financial advisors, family, real advisors. Everybody said the same thing, right? It's like, do you think that it's never going to go higher than it is? Then you yank it out. If not, you keep it in. So what I'm trying to say is like, you're talking about like, I'm going to buy in. You basically, if you're going to buy in, you have a small window because it's just going to go right back up.
Yeah, but like I said, we have not seen the downturn yet. We have not seen enough of a downturn in
But
this.
do you think it'll be as bad as the COVID downturn in 2020?
I mean, it's a different situation, so it's hard to say. Like I
So-
said,
so
it could be as bad on certain stocks, certain AI related stocks. I could see them losing 2/3 of their value. Yes.
So again, this isn't me like telling you you're wrong. This is me asking you what your plan is, and then you're saying I'm going to try to buy the dip, and then me just coming back with, well, this is the info. Like, this isn't me telling you you're wrong. This is just what the stock market does.
So you have to understand, I'm not doing it based upon price per se. What I'm doing it is based upon the news will come out that there's no more funding. Companies are going to start making fundamental changes to try to preserve their ability to be an ongoing concern. When they start making those moves, I give it maybe another month or two, and then the bottom will be in, and then I'll buy in. That's my plan.
So, all right. So for everybody watching, like for me, for everybody watching, and you're telling us this, right? And it's all legitimately interesting stuff. Do you think that it would change our plans on like so we're all mostly, I would think, small fries, and we do GPU rentals and all of that. Does this change anything that we're gonna do for rentals or not really?
I mean, it doesn't change anything. It depends on what. So Lucas Glover, I think was the guy's name. He had like 800 GPUs, and he put out a video saying he's selling it all because all the big guys are buying in, and the cost per token's going down. And none of what he said was wrong. But I think what he's leaving out is the fact that, yeah, they want to go all in, but they're going to run out of cash. They're going to have to stop because they can't power it. They just flat out can't power it. And so people are going to be looking for, continue, just like they are now, looking for less expensive and additional compute. So I think from our standpoint, I think a lot of the things that are happening with the lack of power is guys like you and me will still be able to continue to be profitable with renting out GPUs because of that.
And also to kind of build on to that, I understand that this could crash and all of that, right? But that's not going to take the demand away overnight. And we still haven't talked about the fact that we're in a supply shortage. Like this is a supply shortage. Like it's not a demand shortage where if it was a demand shortage, then like when crypto crashed, everything went flipped overnight. If it's supply shortage, it's not going to flip overnight. At least I personally don't think so.
Yeah,
So
I think, like I said, from our standpoint of what we do, I still think we're in a good position. Obviously, if you're just getting into it and you have to pay for RAM and you have to pay for storage, I mean, it certainly costs quite a bit more in order to, deploy. And obviously GPUs are shorter in supply. So, it's going to be rough if you're just getting into it. But like I said, if you already have the hardware, I think we're all in a pretty good position still at this point.
Also, like, it's not going to flip overnight, right? Like so with proof of stake, we kind of knew the end was coming. Now people were in denial, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you I was one of those people. I thought it was going to happen.
I knew it was going to happen because I was so involved in it for a long period of time that I was talking to, and the thing is, there was a bunch of us that were talking to them. BBT was, Micah and Tim Biko, all those guys. We knew what, if you were paying any attention or maybe just being on the occasional developer call, you knew that it was coming.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not saying we didn't, and I'm not trying to go down that path, although that would be a fun stream to talk about in the future. But no, what I'm trying to say is because it's a supply side market, it's not going to shift. Like you're not going to say it crashes, right? Like say what you're saying is starting to happen. It's not like you're going to have people rushing to offload their 5090s. Like the RAM shortage is not necessarily going to be fixed overnight, right? Like like especially if I would argue, I would say, to kind of add on like an additional point, the longer this goes, right? Because we don't know, but like say this doesn't happen until like 2 years from now or a year and a half, let's say, right? That's a year and a half's worth of shortage that's just not going to fix itself overnight, or even in a few months. Like you'll get, like I would think that we would have plenty of opportunity to unload and not get screwed.
Mm-hmm.
So like I almost feel, after talking to you about this, listening to your opinion, that I don't give a shit. Like I like in all seriousness, and I don't mean this in a negative way, like it's not going to affect me. I mean, maybe it will, but like maybe I just keep a little bit of money aside. But the thing is, I can't spend the money anyway. It's not like we can go out and buy 3090s for a price that we'd feel comfortable buying them.
Not right now, but there's a couple of different things. Is because they're going to stop buying, because they're going to run out of money. They're going to run out of investors. Like I said, they're already doing this. I'll kind of summarize what comes later in this, but they're getting to the point where they're having to rely on governments to fund them, the sovereign funds, because the banks in the US are starting to go, no, I don't think so.
And that's probably why it's not going to crash, dude. Because
it will dry up funds. Okay, so you have to understand, they have to keep spending and be able to keep spending on the track that they're spending in order to make a case for continuing to, this just means future revenue. If they stop building and they wait and there's really nothing, it's like, well, what are you doing now? You have all this stuff. What are you doing with it? You're not growing. You're not generating revenue. What kind of company are you at that point? So it's when they stop getting funds, it should already be a red flag. The banks aren't lending to them anymore. They basically say, you don't have the ability to repay.
So what if there's, and I'm not saying there will be, I'm asking the question, what if there's like some kind of breakthrough that just re-galvanizes the whole industry? Like, I don't know what that is, and but like, you never know what could happen. Like, if you told me 3 years ago we'd be in this position, I wouldn't have known what to think.
Well, again, they are moving at light speed already, but yet it hasn't changed their finances.
Yeah, but what if it? But wouldn't you say that all it would take is one breakthrough for everyone to be like, oh, let's just go right back in?
No, nope.
Okay.
I mean, look at what just happened. They came out with what is it called? It's Claude code for the desktop. I can't think of what it's called, but yeah, they just came out with it this week for Windows. They had it on Mac like a couple weeks ago. But
yeah, no, my dad got into it.
Yeah, so that you now have the ability to have, like, say, hey, I want you to be able to I want you to sort through my pictures, or the example that was given in a video I started to watch was like, sort through my receipts and label them per date and what they are. So basically the AI goes in, looks at the picture, has a date on there, it puts the date and then the name of the store or wherever they were purchasing it from as part of the title, and then sorts that all and renames it. So anyway, it was just an example. But the problem is that, yeah, they can do that, but then there's security concerns. If you give Claude the ability to do anything they want on your computer, that could be a little concerning.
Well, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. You don't want to, you got to be real careful that you don't veer off this topic you're on now.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
The interesting thing about it is sorry, this is another thing I was going to talk about a little bit tonight, but the other thing is that that's one of the nice things about Claude Code, is because when you are in the terminal, it asks you every time it wants access to something different, whether it's a website or files on your computer or whatever. It's always asking you, and you can just say, yeah, don't ask me again, which I never do, or say, yes, you can have access to that file or this folder, but nothing more. So it does, you have a little bit more control with Claude Code than you do with Claude. It's not Claude Desktop, there's something else it's called. I can't think of it. Somebody else come up with it?
So do you think that this topic that we're talking about is like something that people should be aware of? or
I
like
mean-
be super ingrained in it.
Well, okay. So why am I talking about this? I guess is the real question. Why I'm talking about this is what we talked about last week. I believe that the whole computer situation with memory and GPUs will get better by the end of the year. That's my belief, and this is the reason why. Because they're going to stop purchasing. We're already seeing the signs that they're having to go after. I mean, they've already said, like, Oracle is having to pay twice the interest rate in order to continue to get loans. Is that good business? Is that good business? We're talking double-digit interest rate for Oracle.
Yeah, but like, okay, but so I'll say this, right? I think, right, there is two types of business people, right? There are us, the normies, and then there are people who deal in billions, right? Like, for example, if you have like a company that's selling, right, and they're making business decisions that down the line are stupid or they don't make sense and their employees hate it, right? But these decisions raise their EBITDA and drive up the price of the company, then the people in charge don't give a fuck, and it's the right thing to do. But it's obviously bad for the wrong.
That's the thing.
But
you need profit. You need profit.
Because if I'm the guy selling it, I don't give a shit what happens afterwards. I don't care. So what I'm trying to tell you is, and I'm not trying to get into a debate about this. What I'm trying to say is there's almost two economic lines of thinking. There's us, and then there's 50 feet up in the air that we might not see the full picture.
You're not
and
wrong,
I'm not telling you that they're right.
My point is I'm thinking like they do. And what they say is we are willing to lend money to a certain point. And then after that point, we're like, no, you got to start generating some revenue. The banks, the US banks are already at that point. Pretty much have shut down for lending more. They've already went from like 9% to 13% invested. They're too invested in AI at this point with the amount of liability that they have. So now the industries are having to go to like Asian markets or sovereign funds or whatever. But the Asian markets, like I said, their interest rates are twice what they were before. So now we're talking double-digit interest rates. You're talking basically like junk bonds is what they're having to do in order to keep this going. I'm telling you,
why would they be doing
it? For disaster for these companies. I'm telling you, Oracle, I would definitely not be investing in Oracle right now.
Well, so
even after it crashes, I wouldn't be investing in Oracle.
So forget about, like, there's always a train of thought, like, why would you invest at the top? Like, you shouldn't be buying Nvidia stock at what it is now.
Well, granted, but I'm saying is I'm less concerned about Nvidia than I am. Again, they're making the hammers. Okay. Yeah. I'm less concerned about them. They will take a hit, no question. But I'm more concerned about the service providers because they are the ones who are having to buy all this stuff and find ways of financing it. And the financing, like I said, is getting bad. It's getting to the point where it's becoming much more risky because how are you going to, and then they said basically in like 3 years is when a lot of this debt is going to have to be refinanced. And where are they going to, who's going to want to refinance it with this much debt out there and no revenue to show for it or little revenue to show for it?
I don't think any of us, and again, I don't disagree with you. I'm kind of just playing devil's advocate for the purpose of this conversation.
Yep.
I don't necessarily think any of us have a clue where we end up in 3 years. And I think like you said, it's going so fast that I think I get where you're coming from, but also part of me wonders if like this just isn't going to happen. And I don't have common sense data points to argue with you. And what I'm trying to say is like right before the housing market crashed, right? Maybe this isn't the best example, but like right before it crashed, the banks were just basically lying. Remember that? When everyone was basically,
I knew about
just fraud, and it was epic corruption on an epic scale, right?
Right.
And they couldn't pull themselves out of it, but yet they got bailed out in the end. And I'm not trying to be political. What I'm trying to say is, if there is a way to not play by the typical financial rules to starve this off, people are going to do it, and governments are probably going to turn a blind eye because, and I'm not saying this is corruption, I'm saying at the end of the day, if the rules are changed and nobody's hurt, I don't think anybody's going to care except for the people who are trying to short it.
But this is literally about whether or not they have money to spend on debt service and new equipment.
So
That's what it comes down to. When that money runs out and they don't have the ability to make those payments, that's when the shit's gonna hit the fan.
the equipment's harder to argue against because you have to have, but like debt servicing, there's so many creative ways that we probably don't even know about that companies can do it, especially if
No,
the government just don't care.
No, there are definite creative ways, and the governments could get involved. Like I said, the sovereign funds, governments could get involved, and actually, you know, the Fed could basically say, yeah, we'll offer a line of credit to all these different corporations as a lifeline. That can all happen. But if that happens, do you not think that these companies are going to plummet in value? Because does any of that sound like a good thing?
So
It allows them to be an ongoing concern, but it isn't where investors are going to want to see a company that they're going to rely on a government to just stay in business.
I would say the scary part about the government getting involved is the fact that when you design like let's go to game theory, right? If I'm losing a game and I write the rules, I can just change the rules so I'm not losing. So like you get governments involved and there's a big blooming crash, you just change the rules so it doesn't happen.
This is not something you can money. There are rules to basic math.
I'm not,
ins and you have outs as far as money flows.
and I'm telling you that if a collapse could be as bad as you think or worse than what you think, and governments could get hurt, they just won't let it happen. They will just change the rules to prevent it from happening, and nobody will care.
Well, they didn't do
And
it
the
with
people who
they didn't
care-
do it with the telecom bust. They didn't do it with the .com bust.
And they did it with the housing crisis. They
yeah, but
absolutely
it still crashed though.
Yeah,
It still crashed.
It didn't. But it crashed like it didn't. It wiped some people out, but it didn't destroy the world.
No, and I don't think this is going to destroy the world. What I'm saying, the whole point of this is the fact that hardware will become available more readily available towards the end of the year, and I think things will start to turn around at that point because the AI companies are going to slow their roll. They have to. They won't have the money, and investors are going to go, why are you asking for more money when you have data centers that aren't going to be powered on for 7 years?
So all right, so you got me for one more data point, and then I got to go get ready for my own stream.
Okay, no
With the
problem.
hardware shortage, right? The only thing that I can say that I disagree with you about the hardware shortage is that unlike the crypto short where GPU companies were building as much as they could, these RAM companies are artificially like, F this, we are not increasing supply. This is what you get. And I think that will increase the length of the shortage. I don't know how long, but because they're not pumping supply in and they refuse to get burned, they are and to make up for the profits, like if say, and I'm not like saying they could, but say a RAM stick is $5, right? Instead of pumping out more RAM sticks at $5 and maybe leaving themselves open, they're like, no, screw that. We're going to sell this RAM stick for $40. Like, did you see that these RAM companies this week, I'm actually talking about on my stream, that they're making companies sign contracts that they can change the numbers on based on market pricing. So like if you, so what I'm telling you is the RAM companies refuse to ramp up the prices or the stock. They're literally all colluding in the most legal form of monopoly ever because it's worldwide.
But hang on, why are they doing it? The reason why they're doing it is because they've been burned before when the demand dropped like a rock and all of a sudden memory was like dirt cheap. It was great for us as consumers, but the bottom line is that they could barely sell the RAM sticks for any profit at all because they had way too much oversupply. So they basically are coming out and saying, you know what? We ain't making that same mistake again. Now, remember that China is actually manufacturing memory. Now, it won't come to the States, but it will offset some of the demand for the rest of the world who are willing to buy the additional RAM that's getting manufactured in China.
So I got to leave on this, right?
Okay.
With RAM supply not going up, like I think we are going to have longer than a year shortage. And the people that I have talked to with connections and in the industry seem to think that it's going to get way worse before it gets better, and that this lull that we have right now is everybody's just talking themselves into it's going to get better. Like I don't believe, from what I know now, this date, February 14th, Valentine's Day, I don't believe the shortage will be fixed by the end of the year.
All I'm telling you is that we need just 1, maybe 2 dominoes to fall, and the rest of it goes with it. Bottom line is, when the word gets out that companies can't get financing, they can't purchase, they can't make payments, any of that comes out, that's domino 1. And maybe only and a second company that happens to, that's domino 2, and the rest of it falls with it. Everybody will stop purchasing. I shouldn't say everybody will stop purchasing. Everybody will slow purchasing. Again, nothing screeches to a halt. I'm not like doom and gloom, AI's doomed. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that everything is going to slow down because it has to. There isn't enough adoption at this point. People don't understand or don't have application in order to be able to know how to use it. So where people will feel like there's enough value to spend money. Until they understand how they can use it and to spend money on it, and especially corporations, that's what they really need. It's going to slow. It's going to slow. It's no different. Like I said, I keep going back to the telecom bust. It's the same thing. Everybody said, build it and they will come. And companies were like, what am I going to need all this bandwidth for? I don't need this
on this note, I have to leave.
Okay.
I love you. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I do have to leave. So thank you for having me, Max. I'm starting my stream at 10:30. If you're here, don't leave for me. So
Okay.
Max has a lot of good stuff to say. Thank you for having me. This was actually an incredibly awesome debate, and I'm glad we had it.
Yeah, it's always fun.
I want to be on the record saying I think the shortage is going longer than a year, and we need to bet on it, and payment will be received in January.
Hey,
all right,
gentlemen's bet, pride, bragging rights is plenty. Because boy, giving you bragging rights with how much of a blowhard you are, oh my God, that will be the worst. That would be worse than paying you $100.
oh no, I'm the guy that takes that $100, turns it into pennies, cuts the pennies in half, melts them into a sculpture of me saying I'm right. Oh, I'm the most petty person on the planet when it comes to bet.
I had no idea.
I love you. See you later.
All right,
Peace
see
out,
ya.
Mac. Thanks for having me.
No problem. All right, let me reset this up so I can share the screen and move it back into OBS. So give me a second. There we go. Now you can hear me. Scoot over so I'm in the middle of this screen. I don't want to touch the mic because if I touch the mic's going to go off, I bet. Let's see. It's still on. Okay, there we go. All righty. So anyway, let me go through the rest of this. So I don't know if you guys remember when Google came out and said, or the CEO of Google, I don't even know how you pronounce his name, but anyway, he basically said there's elements of irrationality in the current scale of AI investing. When somebody who is in the industry says that should be an ultimate red flag. Should be an ultimate red flag. Right now, there is no sense being given to any dollar that's being spent. NVIDIA can charge as much as they want. As much as they want. Crazy. So critical difference. Nobel Prize winning economist Darren, whatever his name is, warned if we get to the point after spending hundreds of billions of dollars on data centers that we don't need a few years from now, then we're talking about another financial crisis. I think it's going to happen sooner than that. And I don't mean like he's talking about a financial crisis. I'm talking about slowing of purchasing because there will be negative news that'll come out. The key risk is the timing mismatch. Companies can end up underwater if AI grows fast, but less rapidly than they hope for. They have debt obligations due today based on hypothetical future revenues that haven't materialized. That's exactly what I'm saying. A slowdown in AI demand could render the debt tied to these SPVs worthless, potentially triggering another financial crisis. The Bank of England is already reviewing lending to data centers over these concerns. And again, there goes the flattery. So you're exactly right. This has serious telecom bubble vibes, except the debt levels are much larger and the off-balance sheet financial engineering is more complex. Again, they're trying to make it not look as bad as it is. So then I also asked, well, where is the new money coming from, since typical VC money is a drop in the bucket and from what is needed, and big banks are now starting to turn down loans for AI? Excellent question. You've hit a crucial development. Here's where the money is actually coming from now that traditional sources are tightening. There's a $1.5 trillion funding gap. Morgan Stanley research estimates that under the 2.9 trillion global capex needed by data centers from 2025 to 2028, there's a $1.5 trillion funding shortfall. Where is most of it coming from? Private credit. Credit markets will be critical to filling this funding gap, with the estimated split encompassing $800 billion in private credit, $200 billion in corporate debt, $150 billion in ABS and CMBS, and $350 billion across private equity, venture capital, bank lending, and others. There's something coming up here that's kind of like the housing crisis. But private credit firms are stepping in aggressively. There's $200 billion in total debt raised for data centers development in 2025, including $10 billion plus private credit transactions, such as the record $27 billion joint venture between Meta and Blue Owl Capital. I'm going to kind of scan something. So as I said, sovereign wealth funds is a major new player. Sovereign wealth funds are basically tied to government funding. Asset-backed securities and CMBS. CMBS is, I believe, is collateralized mortgage-backed securities. But yeah, it's not good. CoreWeave went public. Obviously, that's one way that they raised money in order to be able to finance their purchasing. But then tapped the high-yield bond market for $3.7 billion across two transactions, borrowing around 9% each time, and sold $2.25 billion convertible bonds with a coupon of only 1.75%. And yes, banks are pulling back. Oracle's situation: multiple U.S. banks, equity investors have reportedly shown reluctance to finance Oracle-linked data center projects, citing concerns over the company's ability to repay the loans. Banks from Asia have stepped in to replace some U.S. lenders, offering loans at premium rates. Lenders financing Oracle's data center projects since September have reportedly charged double the earlier interest rates. And then you have the Federal Reserve warning. A Bank of America survey found 45% of respondents noted an AI bubble was their top tail risk, and large banks have increased their concentration of C&I commitments to AI adjacent industries from around 9% to a total commitments in 2015 to 13% in 2025. And then you have the refinancing time bomb that I already talked about in, what did they say, 3 to 5 years. CoreWeave faces $7.5 billion in interest payments through the end of 2026, with 62% of revenue coming from a single customer, Microsoft, creating massive concentration risk. And as of December 2024, obviously we're more than 9 months past that, but they have only about 9 months of operations funding. They can only operate for 9 months with no income coming in. And this was what I found interesting. Why it's different and worse than telecom. The key difference is who's taking the risk. Private credit eclipsed public equity as the dominant financing mechanism. AI infrastructure finance now resembles industrial project finance more than traditional real estate capital stocks. The concern is that unlike cloud infrastructure, which was largely funded through big tech's internal cash flows, that's like standard data center, The estimated $1.5 trillion gap created by AI's capacity demands will require a far broader investor base, and financing structures. The money is coming from pension funds, sovereign wealth, and complex securitizations. Pension funds was like, wow, that's like remarkably reminding me of the housing crisis, when all of these pension funds basically invested in all these mortgage-backed securities that were trash because they were misrepresented. And I'm curious if some of that is also going on here. So why did I go through all that to get where we are? The reason why is this is going to be figured out. I don't think we're going to get to housing crisis level of things, but we will get to telecom bust and .com bust level of things. I think a lot of the AI companies are going to lose 50% to 67% of their value because they're just crazy. How are they able to continue to finance? Because they have crazy valuations. When those valuations go away, they don't have the ability to get additional financing. That's where I think things are going to stop. And that's why they're not going to be able to continue financing it. Again, they will still keep going as an ongoing concern. And this is when you start seeing things like, what are they going to do to generate income? Now, who's going to win? OpenAI and Anthropic, I think they are not going to be winners. They are definitely the disruptors because they have some of the best technology. But who are going to be the winners? Going to be the big companies that have other income streams so that they will be able to buy them out at dime on the dollar. That's what I think is going to happen. What happened to a lot of the .com companies. Also what happened to quite a few telecom companies as well. Telebs ended up getting bought out for dime on the dollar. Actually, probably even less than that. It was more like pennies on the dollar. Because of some of their stuff just basically stopped getting bought. Everything they had was telecom. So again, the industry will change, but it won't stop. It'll continue. It's just the fact that it's going to be the big companies are going to win. Yes, Facebook, I think, will probably come out okay. They have enough revenue from everything else they have going on. So I could definitely see Meta buying out Anthropic. That's what I could see happening. And being a major player. You have Google. I don't know what their motivation would be. They have Gemini. It's really, really good. So I could see Microsoft buying OpenAI. Anyway, that's kind of how I see things going. And I could see Oracle, odd man out, and just going out of business. Again, I could be completely wrong, but we already see Oracle is becoming the odd man out in the financing game. They are having to take much greater risk in order to keep going, while others aren't yet there. I think they will get there. They're not yet there. So anyway, let me go back to the chat, see what you guys have to think about it. Let me start from the bottom. Do you think Larry Ellison would double down on Oracle with his wealth? I don't know. I mean, he's a smart finance guy, and so I don't know. I honestly don't know, and I don't know. Yes, he's rich, but I don't know if he's rich enough. I mean, we're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars is what we're talking about here. Not a billion here, a billion there. I mean, I know $1 billion is a lot of money. We'd all love to be billionaires, but yeah. Alrighty, let's see. Present mate. Yin and yang. Yes, that's what I like. I like having him on here. It's point counterpoint. For those people that don't remember the old Saturday Night Live when it was Jane Curtis and oh my God, I can't believe I remembered Jane Curtis's name. Chevy Chase, and Jane Curtis would make an argument And then Chevy Chase would be like, Jane, you ignorant slut. And then would go on and say what his argument is. But that was the way he always started his presentation of his argument. So Doombot says, God, I hope OpenAI fails and has to sell their damn wafers and hardware. Like I said, they're going to sell to another company. Remember, Sam Altman started the company. He still has a lot of his wealth in the company. He's still going to want to get out at some point when his company is still worth something. So I could definitely see him selling the company out, and so that he, and making an exit at some point. That's what I think. Red Panda, you missed the entire argument. But welcome. Good to see you, sir. Microsoft is already the biggest stakeholder of OpenAI. Well, you know what? I didn't know that, but that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I think Microsoft's just going to take over OpenAI. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, we all know. I don't know if Copilot uses any of the technology of that. I don't know. But yeah, I'm glad my mic hasn't gone out again. I don't know what that was about, but apologize for anybody that was here earlier that where my mic went out. Tell me the cliff notes. Do I sell my 4090s now? No, you do not sell your 4090s now, in my opinion. I'll give him the cliff notes version. The AI build out, I believe, before the end of the year is going to pause. Not necessarily pause, but slow down significantly. What does that mean for us? That means us that we rent out compute. That demand is going to still continue to grow, and I think the demand of what we're doing will still be there. I certainly have seen it. I had my best week ever with VAST.ai. So definitely happy with that. But the other part of it is that I think we could see memory and storage prices start to come down by the end of the year. And I'm not talking drastically. We're not going to get back to where we were. Definitely not getting back there. Don't get all like giddy about all that. But I think it'll be kind of the things will regulate a bit. They'll start to come down a bit. Maybe not probably quite halfway. I think we'll see, like, say 2 terabyte SSD NVMe was about $120 on the cheap side. Right now it's about $250. I could see it coming down to about $180. So not quite, well, right around halfway, maybe slightly less than halfway the difference. That's what I think. I think more chips will be available for consumers at that point. And will that actually happen by the end of the year? That I don't know. What I'm saying is that direction will start to turn at the end of the year. That manufacturing, and actually us seeing it on the consumer side, it could take a bit longer. Because again, let's say it takes another 6 to 9, well, let's say another 8 months, for example, before we start seeing some of the signs I stated. Then it's probably going to be another 4 to 6 months after that minimum before we start seeing the increase in supply of those items from the consumer market. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. Trying to sell your 3900Xs to gamers. Yeah, I've been really debating whether to sell my T7810s. They've been workhorses. But I don't know. I'm kind of debating like to build. I actually kind of want to build a Kubernetes cluster, just a small one. So taking like 2 7810s and making it 2 nodes on a Kubernetes cluster. I mean, it's just for fun to learn it. So I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But like right now, my 3090s in the 7810s, I have 2 3090s on a 7810. So again, PCIe, 16 lanes. On what do I have that? They all have slightly different configurations, so that's why I want to know what configuration that one. Yeah, that one's based on one 10 core, 20 thread, Xeon E5 2660 V3. So like I said, it's a 14-year-old processing technology, and yet it's rented all the time. Now, I will tell you, one of the things that happens with VAST is that when the processor gets saturated because it can't keep up, your reliability takes a hit. Even though you're still doing everything and the client's happy, the VAST software, something's not quite right here. You're not reliable right now, and so it takes a hit. So like right now, that one is like 95.4%, even though it has never lost connectivity and has never gone down. The client still continues to be served, so I'm not sure exactly, but I know that it has something to do with the processor, the CPU getting hammered on that. So, alrighty. What did Dubot say? Last change, in my opinion, to offload old CPUs. I don't know about that. But CPUs aren't really. They're not hurting for supply. I mean, they're out there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is like better do it now or else. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, now you're starting to get me thinking like, well, that's still PCIe 3. Those are PCIe 3.0 motherboards though, right? Yeah, they would be. They definitely would be. You need B450, B400 or X400 series boards that before you got to PCIe 4. Anything I'm going to add, I would definitely want that. And I know that, yeah, and then 3900 is definitely PCIe 3.0. When you go into the 5000 series, then that was PCIe 4. The 3900 is PCIe 4? Really? Oh, you're right. It's 500. My bad. You're right. You're right. That's right. X470 is what I have down there. What's really interesting about that actually is that the X470 boards actually initially were able to do PCIe 4, and then AMD shut it off on one of their BIOS or whatever you call it. It's something included in the BIOS. I can't think what it's called, but anyway, they shut it off after a very short period of time, which sucks because they could actually do PCIe 4. Alrighty. Let's see, what else did I have to talk about? I think that's pretty much it. I was going to keep it a little bit shorter than I normally do, unless you guys got some things you want to talk about. Let me check one thing here. I want to see if there was anything else I missed. Let's see here. Oh, I left that in by mistake. Went over that. But you know what? The one I didn't check, I meant to check this before the stream, was how's my salad doing? I did have a period of time where I was rented at a pretty nice rate. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I am rented. Nice. Very nice. Oh, that's really interesting. Actually, if you add my salad revenue, which is only $2.74, plus my $147.43, I made $150 today. From 6 o'clock yesterday to 6 o'clock, basically last 24 hours. So that's first time. But yeah, both my 4090 on salad is making 14.5 cents. Not great. But again, I don't have a verified rig to put the 4090 in at this point. And then I have a 3060 Ti that is making 2 cents an hour. Again, 3060 Ti's aren't going to make that much, but I wanted to see. These are 2 of my mining rigs that I put extra memory in, and actually the 4090 originally had only 32 gigs of RAM in it, but it has 4 slots. And then I'm like, I had some older that used to actually be in my computer that I currently have, and So I found those RAM sticks today, or not today, about a week ago, and decided to put an extra 16 gig. So now it's 48 gig of RAM in that particular one. And then the 3060 Ti has 32 gig of RAM, which is plenty for a 3060 Ti. If I do decide to put a higher power GPU in there, then I'll have to kind of think about it, what I'm gonna do. I always try putting a 5090 in an old motherboard with only 32 gig of RAM and see if it gets rented on Salad. Let's actually look at the Salad network monitor. I know that here, I guess I can go full screen at this point. There we go. Yeah, 4070 Ti Super is actually right now. Here, let me actually, I'll switch back on a second. And we'll go to the shared screen again. So this is basically what the dashboard looks like. So there is some demand. There's definitely some demand. 3090s, but again, the big difference in price. I mean, I'm making 15 cents on my 3090s, like 150% more than here. Again, because it's verified. The comparison here is to unverified rigs. And I am making the top end of the 4090 rate. This was actually up to like 18 cents. 3060 Ti now is in moderate, so I've got that rented. And 5070 Ti and 4080 are all in moderate. But yeah, if you go 5090s, just fell off a cliff as far as demand. Just don't get. I have definitely seen an increase in demand on VAST, at least for my 5090s. So yeah, nothing to complain about there. All right, let me go back to the chat, see what I'm missing. You're not earning jack on them PCIe 4. Wait a minute, 3900X. You cannot possibly have PCIe 4 with a 3900X. There's no way. Oh, really? The Ryzen 3000 series is PCIe 4? See, I thought it came out the same time as X400 or not X470 or B450. All right, well, you guys are educating me. You're learning me. Do you think those machines located in the rest of the world get less rented than machines located in the US? You know, I don't know. I only look at the ones in the US, honestly. So I'm not really sure. I don't know. And it would require a lot of time to really look, because when you pull up a search in the GUI, you're not seeing all of the units. So yeah, it's really hard to say. Really, really hard to say. Yeah. All right, let's see. Doombots. I forgot the exact timeline, but yeah, they definitely can do 4.0. Nice. Okay. I was not aware. Well, I believe Panda. Panda said it was PCIe 4. And you have 39. What do you have as far as GPUs in those, though? You have 4090s in there? And again, it all depends on what you have them priced at, too. I've definitely had to lower my prices on my 4090s in order to make sure they get rented. But I'm not hating the fact that I had to do that, because like I said, my prices on my my power are so much less. I figured out, and I was gonna do it today, and then other things came up. Go into it with one of my family members. Anyway, I was helping out a family member. Anyway, I'm gonna put out a video on the power, which won't get any views. It's fine. I don't care. I'm gonna put it out anyway. But the 3.1 cents on the distribution side, it's like right around 3 cents savings on hourly pricing, and then about 1.5 cents on Community Solar, only because I haven't requested enough capacity yet, and I need to increase the capacity going forward. But yeah, so I definitely need to make that video. Gotta make a couple of videos, but yeah, got nobody around tomorrow. Got some work I have to do tomorrow, but I should have time. Hey, is anybody watching the Olympics at all? I know USA Hockey won today. USA Hockey. Oh, Panda, did you see how the Canadian curling team, the men's curling team, are cheaters? See that? Big scandal. Big scandal. Can't touch the granite. You're throwing the rock. Can't touch it twice. Saying. Can't wait for hockey. Yeah, you guys are... My God. They can't stay in the Olympic Village because, oh my gosh, the beds, you know, they're too hard. They're too soft. You know, the hotel is just right. Bunch of pansies. Canadians are pansies. Yes, Canadians are cheating in curling, and they're pansies in hockey because they need a special 5-star hotel. Please give me a break. Come on, I want to see the chat coming back. Well, I'm trying to trigger Panda and it's evidently not working. Anyway, but yeah, I watched them beat Denmark. Got a little nervous. They were down 2-1 at the end of the first period. They ended up winning 6-3. He says, listen, this is why Canadians are so good. Oh, so you're good at cheating. I got it. So that's why Canadians are good, because they're good at cheating. They won. That was the women's hockey team. So yeah, I mean, usually Canada and I believe Japan have typically been the best hockey teams outside of the US. So it's like been those three teams that have always battled. But it seems like, well, based on the first meeting, and just because there's one meeting where the women's hockey team destroyed Canada doesn't mean that was in round robin play, which means almost nothing. So we'll see what happens when, they actually, when they actually play for real in probably the gold medal round. So women's hockey team is playing Sweden in the semis, and then if they beat Sweden, then they play Canada and the winner of the Finland and something else. I don't remember. It was Finland and Japan, maybe. I don't know. But I remember Finland was one of the teams in that match. And then highly likely that the U.S. will meet Canada in the gold medal game, most likely. And I believe that is Tuesday morning. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Red Panda, lol. But Red Panda's a male chauvinist pig, so he's like, women's hockey, really? Oh yeah, I mean, the U.S. men are not going to win the gold. I'd love to see him win the gold. Would definitely love to see him win the gold. Not going to happen. So before I end this stream, other than the fact that it was muted earlier, and like I said, I think it's because I touched the mic, the static type of thing. Yay or nay on the mic? The better, worse, about the same? What do you think? What do you think? Well, you know what? I guess I should just put a poll. That would make a lot more sense. Start a poll. I should have made this poll a lot earlier, is what I should have done. Does this mic sound better than my last mic? Yes. No. Start poll. Let's see. And I did actually do something with the EQ on the mic to make it sound like it does. Sounds great to you. Good. Glad to hear it. This one is definitely easier to the gain goes a lot higher on this one. The other one was like I had it cranked all the way up. This one has a higher level, so it just makes it a lot easier to set from that standpoint. All right, let's see. How many people have voted? Oh, only one vote so far. Come on, people, vote. Vote. Your votes will be counted and they do matter. Just saying. All right, let me anybody else have any other questions or comments about anything we talked about tonight? I'm trying to think if there was anything else I was going back over here. And here, let me back to a headshot. Oh, the other thing I should have said was, do you like the beard? It's not going to be around that long, but it'll be around long enough. Let's see. I did salad updates. Oh, I'm still debating. Do I do 2.5 gig or do I do 10 gig? 10 gig is just so much more expensive than half gig. And I only have 2 gig. I don't know. I'm still so debating. I actually put a Ubiquiti 10 gig switch in my Micro Center cart because they now have them. They didn't have them for a while. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna get. But I do want to be able to have greater bandwidth. I will say that my Octo server seems to be rented more now that it has higher speed. So I'd like to do the same thing with my H12 SSL motherboard rig. Basically add in a NIC on there. And then on a number of other machines also add in a NIC. A bunch of my stuff already has 2.5 gig Ethernet connections on them, so I can just use them. But yeah, so I got to kind of figure out what exactly I'm going to need. And 2.5 gig NICs are definitely less expensive than 10 gig. There are some 10 gig NICs that are supposed to be coming out that are based on a Realtek chipset, but I haven't been able to find them anywhere, like in the US. I think some people have said you'll be able to buy them like via like Alibaba or something, but I haven't seen them over here yet. Yes, 100 gig is greater than 10 gig. Yes, I can math. I know 100 is a bigger number than 10, and gigabyte is the same unit in both cases. Yeah, I have no reason to do 100 gig because I can't get 100 gig out. I would have to move everything. Yeah, I've been going all Ubiquiti. I know Swamp 7 absolutely hates Unify equipment. I haven't had any problems with it. I like it. I like the fact that I can see everything going on. I have thought about, actually, because if you connect everything on the same VLAN to a switch, it can be a dumb switch. Doesn't matter, because the port that it's coming from, you just define what VLAN can get through that port, and then only that VLAN can get to all the ports on the switch that you are feeding. So I thought about doing that. That would obviously be a lot cheaper, but then it's unmanaged and you're only looking at things via port, or not via port, but via IP address, which is fine. I don't know. I can't seem to make a decision about it. I really shouldn't be wanting to spend money when I could be on short-term disability for a long period of time this year. So yeah, I'm guessing I could be on short-term disability for at least 4 or 5 months, something like that this year. 2 months for the hip replacement, and if I have my prostate taken out, that would probably be another 3, maybe less, depending on what treatment I get. But again, definitely getting ahead of myself on that one. Not sure what the doctor will recommend. and he's not gonna be able to recommend anything on Wednesday when I go, but there at least will be a plan as to when things will occur and whether or not he wants to delay the hip surgery. So we'll see. Shall see. So 89% of you, 9 votes. So 8 out of 9 of you think this mic sounds better. So good. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Stop that. Yeah, all right, let me check the chat one last time. Let's see. What? 10 gigabit Connect X4 NICs are like $10 used? Where the heck do you find those? I have not found those. I found like a $75 one, but I have not found anything that cheap. Yes, they are definitely more popular. Higher network bandwidth rigs are definitely more popular. But again, by going 2.5 gig, that's going to be the maximum I'm going to have. I don't have 10 gig service. I don't have 5 gig service. I don't have 8 gig service. I'm hoping that by the end of the year, that I will have 8 gig service. That's why I'm kind of like, well, should I just go the 10 gig route and done with it? But my router only does like 3.4. Anyway, I don't know. All right, let me keep going here. Do you know VAST has updated their installation template and required? Do you know VAST has updated their installation template and required Ubuntu version? It's now much easier to get 5000 series GPUs on VAST now, finally. No, I wasn't aware. I was not aware. What's the required Ubuntu version now? Do you have to go with 24 now instead of 22? All right, I'm going to end that. Oh, now it's 90%. 9 out of 10, yeah. I mean, think that's like a dental commercial, 9 out of 10 dentists, There you go. All right, I'm ending the poll. That was enough. Where's my I don't remember vote? Fair enough. I mean, I could plug in the other one, but I'm not going to do that. Because boy, I probably wouldn't be able to get the mic to come back up. Clean it up and do handle. Oh, I've cleaned it up a little bit. I've shaved down here. I'm not doing handlebars. Oh God, no. But yeah, I have some cleanup to do. Usually what I do is I kind of trim this down a bit. But the sides, I mean, really not much to clean up yet. Yeah. Let's see. For the rest of it. Nice GPU has been really irritating. Oh, yeah. I use 256 gig of RAM on a server with 25080s, and I think it's too much. You never have too much RAM, but is it overkill? Yeah, I think it's overkill for 25080s. Yeah. Run 2 VMs and give each half resources. I mean, you could, but if you're running it on VAST, you don't need to do that. The only time, I actually did do that with the Threadripper system. I did 3 VMs, and I had 3 instances of Salad on that one rig. So I proved it as a proof of concept. Dual port Connect X5 25 gig NICs are $75 used. Yeah, that's what I got. You're right. That's what I got. It was a dual port Connect X5 25 gig NIC. Yes, you are right. So you're saying Connect X4 10 gig. I'll have to look on eBay. Definitely want to have to look on eBay. I don't run VMs. Do you recommend to use VMs? I just think Renter can get much resource more than I wish to offer. Well, I did just get one running as a VM. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to talk about. I don't think I mentioned this earlier. Maybe I did. But yeah, I did actually. So I did have one. My 25060 Ti rig is now running with the ability for the renter to get VMs, but it's still not verified and nobody's renting it. So go figure. But the other two unverified rigs are 5090 rigs, and they are not able to get verified. But I think it's because I have resizable bar enabled on those. So I need to go into the BIOS of both of those units and see if that's what's going on. So I'll probably do that tonight at some point and see if I can get in there and see. I'm hoping that's the case, because if that's the case, I think it will be enabled. And if I can enable that VM, I think I'll be able to get verified, but we'll see. We'll see. In order to enable VM ability on your VAST rig, yes, rebar has to be off. Resizable bar needs to be off. That's what they said in the VAST Discord. I mean, obviously you need IOMMU on, and SR IOV, I think is what it is. Those two settings, if both those settings are available, and they're pretty much one and the same. I'm not familiar. I forget what SR IOV. But those two settings you want to have on in order to have VM ability. It's virtual. It's a virtual. They're both virtualization settings. Enable, good to see you. How long does it typically take for a 5090 to get verified on VAST? Any hacks or just let it bake? How long does it take? Wow. That's like the old Tootsie Roll Pop commercial. How many licks to get to the core of a Tootsie Roll Pop? A 1, a 2, a 3, crunch, 3. Anyway, I don't know if any of you remember that commercial, but oldie but a goodie. I don't know. I've had these two 5090 rigs have been unverified for a really long time. Really long time. To the point where I was trying to figure out, wait a minute, do I have another rig that I could just move over? I'm like, no, because all my other rigs are 2 GPU rigs. Then I'm like, okay, I need to build a 2 GPU rig, but finding motherboards that can do 2 GPUs, even if it's PCIe 4 8 lanes, they're not easy to find. Because most motherboards nowadays maximize the number of like M.2 NVMEs that you can plug in, which makes sense. That's what most people want. So yeah. All right. What was it? Yes. Okay. Yes, they are. Got it. Enable says, I did hear if it's rented a lot, that helps, but that I mean, you would have to cut on price. So, and it doesn't help if it's rented in order to get verified. Definitely doesn't, because they can't verify you if it's rented. But if it's rented, the reliability goes up faster. But in these two particular rigs, reliability is not the problem. They're both over 99%. One's at 99.86%, and it's still not verified. You know how long it takes to get to 99.86%? A long time. So why it is still not verified, I do not know. And I have checked the ports, and it does get rented. It does get rented for fairly long periods of time. So I know the ports are right. I don't know. I don't know, but it is annoying. It is annoying. Yes, you're right. ProArt motherboards do. But at that point, it's almost like, what's the point? You might as well just go to Threadripper. Although Threadripper are much more power hungry and harder to get. I don't know. Maybe I will have to look at that. Maybe I will have to look at that. Maybe get a X570 ProArt if they exist. Because I still would want to probably do a DDR4 system just because it'll be cheaper to get the memory for it. Yeah. Anyway, alrighty guys, I'm gonna call it a night. Hey, don't forget that Crute is currently streaming. Let me see if I can. If anybody's got the link, you can post it here. But let me see if I can get it. Ian. Interesting. Maybe he's not on the Crute Man Digital stream. Must be on the other one. Let me check the other one. Maybe he is on the tech channel. I was thinking he was on the digital channel. Live. Yep, there it is. All right, let me make sure it's muted. Yeah, it's muted. All right. Here is the link. Let's go over and raid him and heckle him. Alrighty, guys. Well, again, thank you so much for being here. It was a good group tonight. Had over 40 people here pretty consistently. So do appreciate everybody being here. And as always, no tabs were harmed in the making of this live stream. Have a good night, everybody.